shortly. Should we just go ahead and jump on? Okay, call the meeting order at 6:34. And we have one guest here tonight. Hi, Vince. Do you want to say anything off the top, or are you just here for the party? Oh, great. Okay, so we'll come to that when we do the. Great, awesome. Okay, well, we'll get there really quick. We don't have a city council liaison report. At the top of all of this, I'm just going to talk about the minutes piece, Alex. So the city has decided to run the minutes piece a little bit differently based on making sure we're not overloading city staff, and just it feels like we're doing a lot of minutes and what are we doing with all of them. So what they've basically asked us to do is, it doesn't have to be like a secretary role, but they want us just to it's just a decisions minutes. So anything, if we do a call to order or like a motion, then we write down the motion was by this person, the second was here, we voted this. And so we don't make a whole lot of motions. Doesn't feel like a big ask. I wonder if we could just sort of take turns every meeting, and all you have to do is like write that down when we get there. Does that sound okay?
Sure.
So does one of you, you're the only two here right now. One of you do it.
Motion we do just.
I make a motion, you write the motions. Can you do that tonight, Bev?
Yes.
And then we'll just pass it around.
Yes.
So you really like, you don't have to write down
Motion or?
I'll second.
anything you motion, you have to write down. So don't motion it if you don't mean it.
Yeah, don't want to write it down.
And then they're basically saying that other, if people are interested in more intense minutes, or we really need more information that we don't personally write down, we can always, watch the recording. We don't really often look back meaningfully at the minutes anyhow. So that's just a city-wide decision about the
Oh,
commission.
goodness.
And then at the end of the meeting, we just hand it to Alex or to you or?
Yeah, to Alex.
Okay.
And I'll retype them and put them in like a nice format and put them online. And you can always, like, if there's specific tasks people get assigned, that's something you might want to put on there just for.
Yeah, just like
informational,
decisions we've made.
Decisions and action. Those are the things that need to get put down on the minutes. It's the Oregon law that we did have to do video or minutes, and we already do video. So the justification has that we don't need to do both. So, and it does take a lot of our time. So
We're just saying we're not doing minutes anymore. We're just writing down important decisions that are made, and we'll just take turns doing that. Okay, so on that note, let's review the last of the full
the
minutes.
last of the good long minutes. That's from DEI. That's your purple one is from DEI. I was
You're
giving it to
gonna
you to
double
take.
stack them.
I was giving it to you to take home.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You guys are gonna decide on free speech waiver.
Yes.
Gotta sign your life away if you want back in the commission.
Oh, I had one correction on the minutes.
Mhm.
Concerning art in the library. It's Carl Hagen,
Oh,
Haugen.
thank you. I know that. It feels like an autocorrect.
I guess I can make a motion to approve because I didn't write them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'll move to approve the minutes. Need a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Bev is writing it down. All right, great. So our financial statements do reflect a bunch of Arts at the Creek vendor stuff that's come in. And I think, a couple since I even did that. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's really it. We have not had any correspondence beyond just like a vendor fee that came in the mail. So we just jumped to updates. We already talked about the minutes template. We do still sort of have we have openings. We can get up to 9
Okay.
people on the commission. So we're not like struggling for people, but we would love to kind of continue to promote that. So if it comes up, make sure you spread the good word. You're here anyway. You should apply again. We have room for you at the table. It's a rolling window.
No, there's no deadline.
Just for you. There's no deadline at all. And of course, welcome back, Mike. Glad to have you back.
And for public record, Jesse, thank you for your encouraging words to the extended community on my behalf. I'll try and do my best to uphold that
Don't let me down.
reputation.
worry.
I also met someone recently who is a professional therapist in town, and she's a French horn player with a long career as an artist, and I'm trying to convince her to apply
Nice.
at her name
Oh,
at
great.
the moment. What was that, Ms. Schreibel?
I said, great. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, especially if we got room for like 3 more or whatever.
We got room. The more the merrier. And we can.
So these
you
3
know,
subjects that we've talked about do not go on here because we haven't voted on anything. It's just general discussion. We don't make any note of anything discussed. Okay.
Just decisions. It did.
That reflected as well, so we don't have to burden ourselves
good.
with.
No, the budget has been approved, which I can go in Arts Commission business as well.
Great.
Our budget has been approved as written, which Deborah and I were just talking about how that will affect the Arts at the Creek piece, because that means we can really dive in and do some more promotion and signage, which is a big part of what the grant was for.
Brilliant.
But before we do that, poetry in public places. Vince, do you want to present your piece? I wish we could get it. Zoom in. Is there a way to show that on the screen? Okay. Summer, SOMMER.
Test.
Check. Gee, what is this?
What do we call it officially? Poetry. walk?
Poetry in public places.
Poetry in public places. Okay. You guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, ah.
Copy. All right, I just did like a kind of contemporary look anyway. Multi-layered mountainscape, just kind of it matches the area, you know what I mean? I can pass it around. This is just our first draft, but anyway, I like the idea of having something like that, kind of bold colors, but like nothing too abstract anyway. But yeah, that's enough area to like add the poetry probably, but we need to add the logos for where Dave was saying the city and the Estacada Art Commission logo.
I think we,
Are you
Oh.
thinking logos along the bottom?
Yeah, I think we could
and
probably fit them in
QR
there.
code Here?
Depends how big we want to have it. I could reduce the mountainscape too, if we wanted to add some more space, so.
There's
Or-
one thing, Vince,
Make-
there's one thing you should think about when you're redesigning that. Is right in the middle of the sign, there'll probably be 2 bolts that hold the sign onto
Oh,
the
yeah.
post. And the ones that they did in Minnesota, they put most of their ID stuff to the left of that and the poetry to the right. So I
Like
think you might have
50-50 down the middle, split it down the middle.
more or less, yeah.
Okay,
I think we'll have to work on that, because otherwise we'll have to be putting bolts through the poems, and that could mess things
yeah, I
up.
didn't
Supposed to be in a-
figure that into it. That makes sense.
Yeah, but there's
Today
plenty of
we're not-
space there, I think, for the things that we need to
Yeah,
do.
we'd have to have, it'd have to be fastened somehow. Sounds good.
My- Mike was just saying too, and Dave, maybe you could help sort of format that out. We know that you had like a limit of lines and words per line.
Mhm.
I wonder if you could provide Vince with like a measurements as to where that text, how big that text would be, because that would help in relationship to the image.
Well, I think what we just have to do is take the biggest poem and use that to set the type size and the spacing.
Mhm.
So is that something that you can do? And
I-
just like mock it up on a piece of paper or something so that he could have an idea of the dimensions?
I can do that, but I won't be able to do it until I get back after the
As long as-
20th. And
As
I
long as
don't
it's
have,
legible too, like,
Yeah.
if has,
and
if
I
it's a
don't have
really
any
big
of the
poem,
poems. I haven't seen any of the poems except one.
I guess we have to
That's
figure
too
the size
small.
of, the size of the,
Do you
of it as well.
have
Size.
the capability to like vectorize that whole?
That's what I was gonna do next,
situation?
yeah, then add, like,
Cool.
add the logos and stuff at that point.
Also maybe just because I'm like addicted to symmetry, could you do loops and both? I would love to make it like low key as gay as possible and like bring rainbow, like if you could have like
Oh, yeah,
three, like have the
yeah,
almost like primaries or not, you know what I mean? And like 3 colors on each side to just make it symmetrical. That would be my only.
instead of the asymmetrical, yeah, for sure.
I
Yeah.
mean, I love that layout. I just am like, let's sneak it in there as much as we
Sneak
can.
something else in there, yeah, I was just thinking like, as long as there's enough space
Rainbows,
for all of our
everything,
text. on it
rainbows.
Anyway,
Huh.
but yeah, Oh.
That's, I
That
feel like
way.
it's gonna be very
Okay,
busy
cool.
with things.
oh, it's over there, okay.
On both corners.
Yeah, I just,
Yeah,
I
because we
worry
have to
about
get all
things.
the logos.
We have to have the logos on there. There might be a QR code. I mean, my thought is, I like that it's kind of simple in one corner because you want to make sure the text gets a lot of attention. And it kind of makes sense to have one thing in one corner where maybe that might be where the QR code is nestled, like in that little corner. I worry about, I mean, your art is awesome, but we don't want it to overshadow the words,
Yeah,
you know?
That's what
And
I'm
with the
saying.
logos, it'll be pretty busy.
yeah, I could reduce that to like half of where it is
Yeah.
there, you know what I mean?
I love the mountains though. They're so pretty and like
Wait,
geometric.
I could pride it up, I could gay it up, of course, too, sorry.
I'm just like, whatever pushback we can make to,
I like having
yeah.
different colors in the corner, but I think we could keep it to like one corner, maybe like
Yeah.
a couple thinner, you could make it a little more complex,
Or
like
like,
some thinner lines.
like a geometric and then like a sacred G kind of like corner. You know how they have all the mandala style stuff? I mean, you already
Ooh,
have
yeah.
that going on
Yeah,
and just have a little, but represent more of the whole color wheel.
That-
Or like a,
yeah.
like a sunshine kind of shape, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking like even you know, like
a little
the-
more vibrant on that.
yeah,
side.
like
Yeah.
the flower of life or the seed of life, little circular, but just capture the corner of it or whatever we can.
Yeah,
chill on
just like a
that.
bit, just have it like
Mhm.
kind of an Easter egg there at a
Mhm.
point, but still visible.
Right.
I like that.
I would like to move that we approve Vince's design, subject to his
Creative
Um,
liberty.
his revision to include the documentary
Yeah,
stuff that
It's
we
90%
need.
there, but we'll change.
Yeah.
tweak
Do you
some-
think time wise, you could have like a digital version of that by next month, maybe?
Yeah, totally.
With those
And-
little tweaks?
Do we know of how, like, how many files, or I mean, how many posts we'll be doing?
What, 18 of them?
Okay, cool.
17.
16, I think.
That's not too
16.
bad.
Okay.
17. 15?
It's
How
14.
15.
It's like 18.
Deborah has them, and I think if Deborah, if you give Vince the biggest poem, then
All right.
we can work the type size around that.
Dave, I don't have time to do that.
But that's
To
what I was
give
saying,
him,
Dave,
to
I
give him a
think,
poem,
Dave, I think that if, you said you'll be back by like June 20th.
yeah.
So he's gonna work on the digital version between now and then, and I'm sure when you get back, like, but before the next meeting, which isn't until July 3rd, that you might be able to type that up when you get home. Would that be
Except-
okay? I don't think
except I
we're,
don't have any of the poems. I have never
But Alex
seen
can
any
send
of
them
the
to you.
submissions. All we have to do is give Vince the biggest one. And he can play with that for the size.
are you
that's all I'm
comfortable
asking.
putting
Yeah,
down
once we get-
text?
Yeah, once we get the total, like, one of the bigger ones anyway,
Mhm.
we can figure that. That would be, yeah, just having a mock-up of what it would be. Probably using the biggest one would be the best idea, because we can expand the smaller ones to fit. Like the text.
Alex, do you want to share the poems with me and then I will disseminate? We'll figure it out. Okay. So Alex will share the poems with me and we'll just, we'll work through it between you, David, between David and you.
Yeah,
me
I'll
and
check in
Vince.
as soon as I get back.
Okay, sounds good. And I'll have the poems from Alex so we can work it out. We need to take that off her plate because it's been a huge ask.
So we have a motion to approve the poetry and parks and design as presented by Vince with some tweaking.
I already
Motion was
moved
by
that, I
Dave.
think. Yep.
Dave, we need a
Yes.
second.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Great. So then we'll, hopefully after our next meeting, we'll have something that we can actually send off to the printer, basically.
I hope so.
Great. All right. Deborah, art in the library.
Art in the library, the show is hung. Thank you, Jesse, for helping me hang it. Bev did a great job doing the layout for our labels. They're all up and they look wonderful. Our reception is tomorrow. And Alex is gonna help us get some nummies for that. It is at 6 p.m. at the library. It will be very chill and casual. And come and hang out with us and see the art. And I think that's it for the reception. For the next show, I have been talking to Tyra, who is with the Prevention Alliance, Todos Santos school related thing. And she is doing a poster contest with kids, and we could display those in October, November at the library for our next show. And I think I have someone lined up for the winter as well. But the application is switched over to a Google form. It is now going to our home base folder. So anyone will be able to check and see our artist responses if they've signed up for that. So please, if you know somebody who is an artist that would like to show their work, have them fill out the application or email Arts Commission. And I would love us to book out all of 2026 before 2026 and have like a nice little poster. Be like, here's all our shows for next year. Boom, done.
I love it.
Awesome.
That's my goal. So if you can help me accomplish that goal, that can be a commission goal that we accomplish all together. Yay! Okay, I'm done talking.
Rah, rah, rah. We got you, Deborah. Okay. All right. Okay. Check. Check. The summer passport has gone wide. I dropped off like 1,500 copies of it. We'll hear back from y'all when your kids get it in their take-home folders. So let me know. It went home to every school-age child in Estacada. My husband and I counted sets of 25
Wonderful.
into
Do you know
1,500.
when did you drop those off?
Danny, Monday, this week is
Oh.
running into itself, Monday or Tuesday. I gave them to Danny, who is going to take them around to the schools and send them home.
Great.
So she said that they'd be able to get them out to teachers, and in the middle school and high school, they have like a leadership class that could go around and be passing them around. So super excited about that. We will print some more so we can have some more in the library maybe, and maybe in Yo Treats and City Hall. I know you guys like to have like little piles of things, so we can have them out for that as well.
Art Smith would take some too.
Art Smith also. We'll just go around with little packets.
Yeah,
super
I
excited.
bet
think-
Timbertown would take some. They have a little counter with like coloring stuff on it. Or not, sorry, not Timbertown. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, I'm running on a sleep deficit.
Time travelers.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
I got you. Sorry.
If you wanted to drop extra off at City Hall, I could pick up some and drop them at Time Travelers and drop them at Art Smith if you'd like.
In the mood. Sorry, spider. It's just not, I don't do spiders.
right now?
I do. You a spider friend? Do spiders. Right on your foot.
I was
Right on
like,
your
do
foot.
you mean to smush them?
We had a
I will.
spider and I just lost my screen. So hold on.
Sorry.
I'm having
I've-
issues.
So my screen has
Spiders.
just been straight black this whole time with
What?
no option to
Not do
mute or do
spiders.
anything
I don't
else.
have
So
the
if you hear
capacity right now.
commotion in my house, it's because I can't mute or raise my
Okay, well,
hand or
Deborah's
anything.
gonna chase away the spider. save the spider from me because I will smush it if it gets too close. Okay, so the summer passport is everywhere. I'm not too worried about dropping piles of them everywhere. We got them to families who are from town, and that's most important. And we can definitely still pass them out, but I don't think we need to put too much effort beyond our like couple mainstays. But we can definitely go through and drop them around. So super
Do
excited about
you
that.
want me to pick them up from City Hall and drop them off at Yo Treats and Art Smith
That-
then?
That would be great. I will
Okay.
email Alex and ask for like another, what do you think, like 100?
I don't know. Are you talking to me?
Yes.
I have
Okay.
no idea. You want to leave maybe 20 at City Hall and then I could divvy up the other 80
Yeah.
between
And I mean,
a
if
couple
a city hall
places?
runs out, they can print more.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Okay, so
And
I'll
then Alex can
email,
just,
I will
I'll
email
just
you that,
come in
Alex.
on Monday or whenever they're ready.
Okay, sounds great. Arts at the Creek, I have a couple things that we need to, like, I need help with and we need a conversation about. Part of it is the signs. So Alicia got a quote for about $19 per sign if we got like 15 to 20 signs. I say we go 20. We said we were going to spend the money. We'll reuse them every year. Yard signs, double-sided, yard signs.
They're 18 by 24, double-sided, and for 15 to 20 of them, she said it'd be about $19. I think it's $3 per sign less than if we went with a smaller amount, so we get a little bit of a bulk discount.
So that's 19 times 20. That's about $380 for the yard signs. So I would like to move to approve that we go ahead and make that purchase soon.
Second that.
All those in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Aye, great. We also talked about doing some bigger signs somewhere. And that's what I was gonna actually ask you if you might be able to help.
Sandwich boards?
Well, we want to get some signs printed, but I just don't know the size.
Oh, well,
And-
I think that anybody that does signs, like especially if you're already Alicia, I don't know, are you working with Sarah?
I'm just emailing with her.
Then she can definitely do those, what are probably 4 foot by, the larger election signs or whatever. And I have 1 million T-posts at my house. what
So
we can
do I just ask her? I think the problem is, so Steve's been out of town. I don't even know where our, our, tape measure would be. So I can't go and measure the sign. And no
Yeah.
one else kind of knew what the size was. If I just say, those big standard ones, do you think she's gonna know?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, I'm sure that she's done a handful of them for people running for office in town. They're probably 4 foot long by 3 foot tall or 2.5 feet tall or something like that. And honestly, it doesn't really matter the dimensions, just something sort of like 3 times the size of the push-in signs that you already got a quote for. And if we got a couple of those, like I said, we can just bang in T-post and zip tie them.
So how many signs should I ask for? 3? And you
Well-
want me to just check out pricing on these to begin with, right?
I
Yeah,
think we need
Jesse?
pricing, but then we need pricing, but we want to get them out sooner than later. So I think like we would love to have them up as soon as possible. I would think sometime in June.
but also
Late
there's
June.
this
I don't wanna wait
issue
till
of public
early
property
July.
and where we can display them.
I
that
emailed
was
Danny
the
about this.
conversation.
I emailed Danny to see if we could do something on the school district property, and I haven't heard back from her about that
Um,
yet.
And I bet that Aaron
Um,
Smith would let us put one up on the old Eagle Creek Highway across the street from Camp.
On her fence?
Yep,
Mhm.
because that's a very visible spot.
I guess
So who buys the signs? I'm
We
not
would-
ordering these, right? Or
no,
I am ordering and then someone else is sending a check?
we would
or-
we'll ask them to bill City Hall and then they'll take care of the payment.
Okay,
So that never goes through us. So
well, I know, but I've never purchased anything for our commission before that wasn't a pie that I gave you a receipt
Yeah,
for.
well, and
So,
I'll need to make sure that the file is ready. And then I can maybe reach out. I don't know how we do that exactly. We'll just ask them to bill
Yeah.
City Hall.
Yeah. If she needs to tell him to contact me.
Okay. So I can go ahead and, cause I have the file, I can reach out to them and order the yard signs sometime really
Great.
soon.
Yeah.
But my ask, I'm asking someone to take it off my plate to deal with the bigger signs. I can provide the
Well, I
file,
can
but I'm
ask-
wondering if someone else can order it and deal with the placement and just like find a couple places for signs. I'm exceptionally maxed out and it would be a wonderful thing to have somebody help me with.
well, I can send Sarah an email about the bigger signs and how much they are and what size they actually are properly and get back to you with that. Mike, you want to go around looking for spots?
Yeah, I'm texting Aaron Smith right now in real time. I have a couple other ideas of sort of high traffic areas that we can put signs.
Great.
And we can think about at least one of those being on school property or like city property.
And also
Maybe
I
on their
think,
chain link fence.
Yep, Springwater would be
we-
also like kind of a home run.
Can we do it in front of the library,
Probably in front of
like the park and ride?
Park and Ride.
Yeah.
Could
Or,
we-
well, they just put the concert sign up over there.
Oh, first.
No. But you could probably put one down here. We put signs up down here before. I would reach out to Dawn,
Okay.
Public Works Director. That's what I would ask.
Just thinking about like, it would be nice to have a sign more than just a yard sign at Wade Creek where we know it will be.
Right.
Just to be like a place specific.
Get it out there for a good
And-
6 weeks.
Yeah,
beforehand.
and if not that, we could, I don't know, we could ask the Gallany Marble guy. He's got a big parking lot. Like literally, we want to ask somebody nearby.
Can we tape this to your cyber truck?
Yeah, we be driving billboard for us.
Well, yeah,
Okay,
Aaron's place is
so-
literally right kitty corner and down from that Gallany, however you say that, place. So that is a good spot. Mike was right on that.
Yeah. Okay, so can I hand that to you and Alicia to sort out and I'll just make sure we have the files. My job will be to make sure the files are ready.
Yeah, so you'll get going on the little signs and I'll email Sarah asking about the large ones, asking for pricing. And we wouldn't need that double-sided, that obviously. Just
Um,
one side's going up, right?
I think just
Is
one
it, if it's
sign
going
on
up against
those.
a fence?
Yeah, or with
are you thinking, is it like gonna be like corrugated plastic or fabric?
I was thinking it's gonna be like plastic.
It's
Okay.
the like plastic that looks like cardboard, the way it's
The
constructed.
same
It
as the
has-
small signs.
Yeah, it has little
Okay.
corrugated
Oh, I was
inside or
thinking more like a
whatever.
banner.
Oh,
I think the plastic ones would be probably easier to just stick up. They're a little lighter.
yeah, just
you
sort
don't
of
have to
the
suspend it.
election sign.
So it'd be the
Uh,
same material as,
format.
yeah, same material as the little signs.
3 larger signs, single-sided or double?
Single.
Okay.
Thank you.
But you
You're
could ask for the pricing for both. Can't hurt depending on where we put them. Might as well.
Okay.
Okay, and then as soon as we get the answer to that, we can make a choice, but I wonder if we can we pre-approve within a certain financial? I don't want to wait till July 3rd to order the signs, is what I'm saying.
Motion to deploy funds to pay for the large signs once we have the quotes established.
I think you're gonna have to put a limit on it.
That's,
You
3
can't just-
signs.
we have 3 signs, but the other ones are 19 a piece. You think it's like 3 signs?
They're gonna be $50 probably.
So let's earmark for
Like-
$200 to be spent towards.
Can we say 3, just to be safe?
$300?
Yeah.
Because $300 is for 20 smaller ones.
So yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
380 for what we've already done.
Motion, we pre-approve spending up to $300 for 3 large size signs, single-sided signs.
Yes.
Can we get second?
Yep. I
Second.
second that.
All those in favor? Aye. We'll
Aye.
obviously make the
Aye.
most financially sound decision and we're not gonna order a bunch if they're really expensive. I don't wanna wait until July 3rd to approve it.
Mhm.
We wanna get it out sooner than later.
You've got a vector design of that
Mhm.
already established.
I've just been lightly editing what Maddie gave us for years.
Oh, good.
So yeah,
Jesse?
I have the,
I did.
so
Jesse?
Mike.
Mike.
Mhm.
Um. So yeah, and I have posters from last year that I had printed up that I can put on the sandwich boards. I'll start taking those to farmer's market once school's over.
Which is what?
Next week. Next
And-
Thursday is last day with kids for me. So yeah, so that's happening. We had another food cart question. And I want to bring it to the group because I'm not sure I know how to handle it. So Deborah talked to the 1884 pizza company
Yes.
at Uncorked and said they were really good and that they might be or are available. At
They
that moment, they are available.
on the whatever date Arts at the Creek is
Yeah,
at,
The
so
26th.
27th.
So they are available, but they're one of those that want can you say more to that?
It's called a guarantee for the day.
Mhm.
So some trucks, when they're going to events, want I guess it's a contract that they'll make X amount of dollars.
Or you
His
make up to it.
usual is like guarantee for the day is like $1,000. If they weren't to make that amount, we would be on the hook for covering the amount that they were short. He's willing to, and
Oof.
that's their usual is 1,000. He's willing to drop it down to 500 and any amount that they didn't get to, if they didn't get to 500, we'd owe that difference.
Like if they only made $300, we'd owe them 200.
Right.
Yes.
So we were just sort of talking about this, like, what does that look like? What does that feel like? How much money did Christie's make? I don't know. My first question is, hold up, we're not doing that for Christie. So I think if we were to do it for one person and not do it for her when she's been there for us every year without question, or she shows up at our little things and doesn't require any minimum ever. I wonder, that doesn't feel right to me to invite, to basically sort of guarantee someone else a bunch of business that would pull from her business.
I agree.
It
Also,
feels like you
what
would
if,
want to do it for maybe a guarantee for both. I think that in my own
I
head, I'm
would be
thinking,
worried about being on the hook for.
so, but here's the thing. So I reached out to Christy and I just said like, hey, we've had some questions come up. I'm trying to gauge like numbers for Arts at the Creek. Would you share with me, like how much you made last year? She said she didn't share the sales, which is fair. That's actually not what I really needed to know. She said they got 67 orders. So she did really well at Arts at the Creek last year. That's 67 individual like points of sale.
Mm.
Um,
And call that $20.
yeah, call that $20 per person. I mean, and
1,500.
yeah, I think the math is almost secondary to like, it's like chicken or the egg, right? We don't want to
Well,
say she's
yeah.
not making a bunch of money when or like more people aren't coming. If we had another food cart, like I've already seen people go crazy about this pizza online. And if we had a secondary food cart and we say like, oh, now we have two, there might be more of a draw for people to come. It's kind of like chicken or the egg.
I
with
mean,
numbers.
if it was,
Policy issue here because DEC, do they? I mean, with all their food trucks, you have no, I
They're-
don't think you can, I actually don't think you can do this.
DEC is different. The food trucks pay to be at Uncorked.
That's,
I don't,
but they also have it's a much easier draw. Any downtown event, you're just
yeah, it's,
guaranteed a
well,
ton of
also it's a
people.
food centric, it's a drink, it's an event. That's
Mhm.
literally you're going there to eat and drink,
Mhm.
you know. Our
Yeah.
event is not, and if it's like hot, like
Weather?
if it's like crazy blazing hot all day,
Nobody makes any money.
are
Right.
people gonna want like hot pizza? I don't
I
know.
I think as a public organization, we have to be consistent with any similar groups that we deal with.
Yeah,
So if
I
we
agree.
have two food trucks, we have to treat them the same.
That
If
was
one
my
of them
concern
wants
too.
the guarantee, then I think we should run that by the city offices to make sure it's okay that we do
I
it.
agree. We need.
But
Well,
I
and then
think, I think
Alex-
we have to do them the same.
Well, and Alex just made the point too, though, that like, what if there's terrible weather and it rains and nobody comes, and then we're on the hook for like $1,000 for food?
Exactly. Or it's boiling hot weather. I don't want like a big old hot ass pizza, sorry, when it's like 80, 90 degrees. Like,
But it's just,
2
it's challenging
p.m.
because we as a like volunteer run, we're trying to help people, other people make money. We can't really guarantee sales, and it's hard. If we didn't have anybody and we were like doing that for one person, that feels like that would work. I don't know. The math on it's hard because it's like future investment and knowing you want the event to gain momentum.
Are there any other food vendors? So I think that the variety
Just
is
say
vital.
there's kettle corn.
Yeah,
Christie's,
but I
the
mean,
food
like,
truck,
you're
and
bringing your
Girl
kids and you're
Scouts.
trying to feed them rather than
No,
dinner.
no, it's just Christie's for main,
For food,
like,
it's Christie's.
yeah.
Right. I would just like to think that I'm gonna sort of be the rare optimist here and say that maybe we need to lean into this a little bit and trust the process. It's not gonna rain. It's probably gonna be hot as hell. Kids are way more drawn to eat pizza than cheeseburgers, at least in my house.
My thought too is that I had this conversation with Kona, and Kona was like $800, but then you're breaking that down into
Right.
$5 cones.
So
with
let's just put it-
pizzas. The
if-
pizzas are
if they
probably
gotta
like
make
what,
500.
$30 a pop or something.
If they gotta make 500 and they sell 20 pies and we're on the hook for $200, it's not the end of the world. And
We want
Yeah,
to make
but
sure
what
that we
about-
have a drop.
What
well, the
about
food is
Christie?
gonna be
I
part
don't-
of that.
No, that's what I mean. I
Right,
meant that it's
right.
the food is gonna be part of that. And if we
I think
might
we
have
lean
to
into
lean in a little the
Yeah.
first year, and then based on their sales, we might be a lot less stressed out about it next year.
Well, and frankly, we're gonna have to sort of come to terms with the fact that these two different parties have different perspectives. Christie's local, she's worked with us, she knows the scene, people know her. This is a new vendor who's like feeling it out, doesn't want to lose their ass, pardon the expression.
Yeah, they
when
have
they
to make
come.
it worth it.
So I think if we're on the hook for $200, I don't think that they're gonna have a problem clearing $500, especially.
But
if
we
they're
have
par- if
to
they're
offer
parked out
that
there.
to Christie's too, and then we have
I
to
think
pay
so.
them
Not
both out if
necessar- I
something
mean,
happens.
I think you could tell her and just be transparent and say like, look, this other cart wants a guarantee.
I was literally typing that
You
email
know.
to her before, and then I was like, I need to talk to everybody because I was gonna be like, can we just talk? Well, also, she's been very, very
I
supportive
don't
of
think she's
us.
gonna stress it.
And I think
she's
if
gonna
we had
stress
a
it.
casual conversation,
Yeah.
I could get out of her whether or not like she would even care about a guarantee.
Yeah,
And
I
I
think
think
we
it would
have
just be an
to,
easier conversation, but I think it absolutely has to be something that is presented to her as like,
Yeah.
we love you, and we like, if a guarantee is offered to this person and you like, we would do it for, I think it's either both or neither in my.
yeah, we have to do them both consistently. Now, what they do with, we have to follow through and do that. If they fall short and decide, well, we don't want this money, they can give it back to us.
Do
What
we
they do,
have-
what
Are you
they do
thinking about
with
other
with
rules?
repayment. If there is
So-
one, that's up to them, but we have to have the same arrangement with both similar parties.
And
I'm
we also
watching-
have to have money earmarked to give them in case it happens, right? We have to ask for $1,000 from the city, so we have 500 for them and 500 for Christie's just in case, right?
Well, that's if they earn nothing.
Well, I know, but we
So
still
the-
have to have, it's like when someone hires you to like, okay, Mike, you would get this. Someone hires you to play an event and they're like, oh, we didn't sell any tickets. Sorry, we can't pay you. It's like, no, I get paid regardless. You have to have that money beforehand. And then
Right.
you pay yourself back out of your ticket
But
sales.
we can also confidently assume that they will sell some food throughout the day.
Yeah.
So it's not the chances of us taking a total loss in both parties is the probability of that's very low. Barring, a natural disaster or whatever. So I just don't think it's as big of a risk. I like the fact that we're considering the angles. I just don't think it's that big of a risk. And I think that there's a very good chance, it's like Rick and Barb. We offer to pay them every year, and every year they bring the check back to City Hall and give it, and they're like, hey, we're here for the community. We're not here to make money. This is an event that we like to. I think Christie's kind of on the same level where she knows And people are gonna buy her food. I mean, what do we think about doing the full disclosure transparency pitch?
Full disclosure, I also am looking at our city staffer's face and we're wondering if this is even something we can do.
Yeah, I
I mean,
agree.
I don't know. I would check with Melanie about
Yes.
the guarantee for both. My just one piece would be that you don't have to offer Christie the guarantee because the guarantee was a requirement from the other company. It's not a requirement for us.
right.
It's their thing. So if you guys agree to do that, you guys agree to do that with them. So that's just my opinion. Like
Yeah.
just because we're the city doesn't mean we have to offer
Right.
Christie a guarantee.
Mine was more in good faith to
yes,
Christie
no,
than
and that
anything
is
else.
totally
You're
fine, and I get that. I'm just saying you do
speaking
not
from your
have
conscience.
to like
Yeah.
for any. There's no rules for that there. But I would check with Melanie before we agree to do
Can you
that.
check with Melanie and then I will track down Christy and just talk to her in person.
Yeah.
Like we're friends. She's a wonderful human. I think that we could have a conversation with her that would maybe solve this.
Yeah.
Well,
So
and
that's just
also
my
this
two
isn't
cents.
like a for-profit endeavor for the commission, so it's not like.
Yeah.
That's what I want to
That's
be to the
true.
pizza
Right,
place. Like
it's
this is,
not, you know.
this is volunteers. Like
Right.
you're keeping everything that you do. I mean, and that's, but they're trying to make their business work too. And are they like local to Clackamas County?
I think
Where are
so.
they from? So like,
Wilsonville.
I mean, there's also that, like, we're promoting local businesses. That's part of what we're doing. I mean, there might not be local, but they're Oregon local. They're not big business, they're small business. There's a piece of it where I'm arguing myself in a circle, but like, I do think that sometimes like we need to make a little bit of an investment and draw people in. We can't just sit around and wonder about why people aren't coming. We finally have a food cart that might be able to come. Like maybe we just need to get them there.
Yep.
Like that's
Agreed.
also my feeling. Like
Agreed.
if it works if we can work it out with Christy and we can work it out with the city, I feel like we just need to make the investment. And if it doesn't work out, then we know that for next year. But I just feel like we have to sort of make a
Did we have,
decision.
do we have a problem with attendance at all?
No,
last
but
year?
we just don't have a great sense of attendance. I don't know how people even gauge that. That's why like when I asked Christy, she said she did 67 orders. That's the number that I have. We have like how many t-shirts we did, how many raffle tickets we sold, but not everybody participated in either of those things. I have no idea how people gauge those
10
things.
Orders an hour.
I mean, she was
That's
slammed. She was slammed all day long. She was regretting the
And
fact she didn't bring more food
Yeah,
and more people.
inherently in
very busy.
that kind of a setting too,
almost wish there was
she's
more.
limited to how much they can literally put out.
Mhm.
So a lot of people would see the line, they would see the wait, they would see how busy it is and then not place an order. So I think that the more options we have, I'm just feeling very hopeful that people are
Me
gonna
too.
see more options, see more vendors, turn out, and
I-
every
I,
year, you
I
know.
would feel bad though, if that cut, if it cuts her down to 30 orders. If it cuts her, cause like you said, everyone wants pizza. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, that's, guess
I also think though that
calculate the risk.
she vended at our like winter concert
Mhm.
party when there were like 30 people there. She probably made $100. Like I don't think it would, she's happy to be
No.
there for the support of the community also. So I don't think she'll be
Right,
like
but she-
offended by us bringing another food
Right.
cart
I'm
around.
just, if she is like our only, she's like really our only ride or die. So just something to think about.
This is hard because I don't want to wait until July 3rd to make a second decision on.
If we wait until July 3rd to decide
Then
this.
he won't be
he
around.
Won't be available.
I
One
see
of-
Well,
that, and
I feel
Go
one of
ahead.
the things we got for feedback was more food options.
Yep, and
That
it's
was a
something
consistent thing in the
from
feedback
us-
from last year.
From us and attendees and
Yeah.
vendors.
So this is a step in that direction.
Bev, you have thoughts?
I think we could do a similar motion to what we did with the signs. Is let's have a motion. I make a motion that we go ahead and offer the guarantee of what, 500? Pending, put a caveat on there, pending Melanie's approval. So it's it's,
And are we making that a motion to approve that guarantee for both or for
no,
one?
just for the one that required it. We're dealing with this by issue.
Okay, I think that if we did that, maybe we could do that and make that motion. And then in the time between now and July 3rd, I can have a conversation with Christy. And if it's at all uncomfortable, or if, as long as it floats with the city, if it's at all uncomfortable or if it feels, then on July 3rd, I can make a motion to extend that to Christy.
Let's deal with it by issue, which is the one.
Okay, so I need to email Melanie.
I'll second the motion to make an offer for one $500 guarantee.
Okay, all those in favor?
I,
I,
Aye. And I will,
And who's the vendor?
1884 wood-fired pizza.
since you have already spoken to them, would you reach out to them? If it is approved by the city, will you just reach out to them and send them the form and I can share it with you? And then if we need to do a form or a contract with them, then they can give that to the city because they would be signing that with the city, not with us, right? I think,
You guys can sign agreements for that kind of stuff.
okay.
And do your follow
Melanie-
through, Jesse.
Yeah,
Jesse, do your follow through and we'll adjust that in July if we need
Yeah,
to.
I'll email Melanie about it first. And then we'll find out if
I did.
it's something we can
Yep.
for sure do. And then if it's something we can for sure do, then I'll have that conversation with Christy about it.
Dave, who seconded?
Dave.
David,
Right.
we also have real-time approval to use the Smith's property for advertising for
In Eagle
arts.
Creek.
For a larger
Uh,
sign.
Yeah, that's correct.
Great.
Perfect.
And I have one more ask. Sorry, Bev. I said, we
ran
don't
out
make
of
that many
room.
orders. Can I,
Room for one more.
can I make one
Yeah, it's
more?
Number 6.
That's the last one, I swear. I would like to make a motion to approve a cost of $20 to $50 to push our Facebook event, to promote it on Facebook.
I second that.
Okay, it's done.
All those in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye.
Motion-
So we need to make that, event. I don't think we have an actual event for it, do we yet?
Not
We-
yet. I
what she
need
said?
graphics.
Okay.
and
Did
stuff
30.
to do that. I was gonna talk to you about that.
Okay, for Facebook. By the end of
Whenever.
next week.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not gonna be here next week.
Okay,
Oh,
who-
I'm out of town. Or I'm out of training all week. so,
okay.
Is
Is it too much?
Well,
if I take
I'll have,
poetry off your plate, can you focus on Arts at the Creek?
yeah, I'm not gonna be here next week in the office.
But you're here tomorrow.
I'm here tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay.
yep,
Is it
yep.
too much to do a quick Facebook
Tomorrow?
post
No,
or event?
No,
And I will send you,
Did the
yes,
motion?
whatever. I can handle that.
Are we voting
can
on
I?
this yet?
Let's see.
Motion for
I
that.
might.
The 50.
And I don't know how to promote it on Facebook, but I Googled it and it said $20 to $50.
I don't remember. I don't think we do that, so I'll have to check.
But I
it out.
think it's worth promoting it. We want it to be in people's spaces.
Definitely.
That was my only ask. We talked about Pamplin, but what I really would love to do is reach out to the woman who gave
Oh.
us all that coverage last year and just see if she would,
Rich Allen.
The city is,
is there a new person? I'm here
Nope.
today.
New person?
nope, same person.
Great, yeah.
The city is, I would reach out to Melanie about that because the city is putting paying for ads in the paper every month. And we're doing like city events and they've been doing like the events, so she
Okay.
probably is planning on putting that in already, so I would
Okay,
just
Britt?
I would reach out to Melanie
Okay,
and just check with her about if she was planning on doing Arts at the Creek.
okay.
advertising.
So include that in my email to
Yep.
Melanie.
Yep.
But reach out to Britt anyways,
Yes.
because
That's
she
not the
might
person
be
who did it last year.
willing to do a feature.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, just like a story. Yeah.
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 Is there-
Other than advertising.
Last year, I communicated with Teresa Carson. Was the
Okay.
person last year.
I don't
I
know.
don't know if Teresa is there anymore,
Okay,
but
Britt's the one who's
Britt
been
is
coming to
definitely
City
still
Hall and
there.
stuff. Yeah.
2
Uh-huh.
T's?
Oh,
one T, I think. It's
Rich.
ballen@pamplin.com.
B Allen, E-N?
Yes. If it bounces, let me know and I'll find it in my emails.
Okay,
And Jesse, if I have a little bit of an update with Job Corps.
Oh, yeah, I
you-
wondered
if you don't
about
mind.
them.
Mm.
Are they getting all shut down?
I, I have not had any correspondence back since February. I talked to them in February. And they said that they would look forward to it. Their grants, they included Grant, the recreation assistant, on the reply. And then I sent a save the date in May. I sent a follow-up and, let's see. No, I sent a save the date in April, another one, just a little keep in check follow-up in May. And then 2 days ago, I sent them something else with the link for the volunteer the Google Doc for the volunteer form. So I'm gonna call, but do we know if they have been shut
When-
down because of
When
what is
I look,
happening?
it
There's
looked,
We're still there.
and the sites that were affected in that most recent news, there was a small list of sites that were affected in Oregon, and this one was not listed, so I was really hoping it was not part of that. It was not-
Okay, well, I'm gonna try,
Yeah,
I've been
Roxanne
calling
said
random
so.
numbers and not
Oh.
getting any.
Deborah said
None.
that Roxanne was just there last week, so it's still, they must just be busy. They're still working in there.
Okay. Well, I sent them an email to follow up and send them the volunteer application link. And I said to streamline the process, please feel free to complete a single form on behalf of the entire Job Corps volunteer team, indicating that the submission is representative of your group. So that's how we're doing it, right?
Yes.
You still wanted me to, okay.
Yes, please do. I'm just looking at it
And
online to see.
So I sent them the link for the form. Do they fill it out and send it back to me? Or when they fill it out, are they sending it to?
The Google form, it'll just hold it in the drive.
Perfect. Okay.
We've only had one person fill it out.
Yes, that's what, yeah, and I communicated that. I sent a really great email. I even used AI. It's the first time I've done that. And it is fantastic. I have to say, it really sounds it sounds very professional and wonderful. And I look forward to using it more.
It's just counting.
Okay, well, I'm gonna
15.
call another number I found. I called one number and it just went to like a recording. I find another number and call and maybe I can look online and find someone else to email to, I guess.
We
Okay,
actually vote on.
But the response I got in February was, yeah, we're there, we're on board. We loved it last year, sounds great. So
okay,
hopefully that's still the case.
great.
I'm gonna interrupt you. We actually never voted on the $20 to $50 for Facebook. It was.
Oh, sorry.
Who seconded it, and we never voted. We need to finish that.
I thought we did.
I think
might have been
I
dis-
did too.
I
I'll
motioned. I
You
seconded the
seconded,
motion.
okay.
I think I made the motion.
Yeah, you
Alicia
got it.
seconded.
Okay, and we voted, everyone say yes.
Yes.
Yes, aye.
Aye. Yes.
Aye.
So
All right.
far we have like 35 vendor applications for Arts at the Creek, 9 student applications, and I think 11 community organizations where we're at right now.
Great.
I think we have almost 15 vendors who have paid. And everyone's opting into the raffle. We only have a couple people sort of fallen out. I'm basically sort of accepting everybody right now because as we all kind of know, they'll drop off or not show or not pay or not follow through. And everybody has some really interesting all over the place crafts. So I think if I get to it's going to slow down here. I think by like mid-June, I think we said the payment deadline is the end of June, so we might do like one more post coming up soon saying like final applications, mid-June, something like that, mid to end of June. But we're trucking along with all of that. So I think that's it for Arts at the Creek. I didn't have a whole lot of time or energy for the community updates. So those are the 2 that I found. Spiral Gallery, Nina Bradford's show is going to be coming up. And the Clackamas County Arts Alliance has another one of their networking events for creatives coming up soon in Milwaukee as well. And obviously we have our own art in the library. It should have been on there. Sorry. I penned it in on my own thing. It is above. Does anyone else have anything of interest or desire to talk about?
I ran into Rick and Barb at the cidery last week, and they are available on the 26th. If we want to do throw them in the mix musically, have them do like an hour set maybe in between, or sort of
Oh, I think that'd be
to
great.
kick the day off or something like that. I mean, they're pretty flexible. They don't even really need a backline. They can just kind of show up with his guitar and mandolin or whatever and plug in. So I would like to include them. They're very
That sounds good to me. Jesse and I, we were talking about finding something else to fill in.
cool. Cool.
Jesse, did you end up figuring out, talking to anyone about like magicians or anything
No,
like that?
no,
Okay.
I'm in overload mode. Not much more is gonna happen for me until mid-June.
Okay.
You get asked me again in 2 weeks and I'm gonna be on it. Okay, well, if no one else has anything else to bring up, I think we're good to go. Bev, thank you for being our scribe. Sorry, there were so many
I don't
motions.
have to do it again.
Nope, you're out for another few rounds.
I make a motion. We adjourn.
All right, thank you so much. We'll call this meeting to order 7:30. Ring the thing.